Welcome to Golden Goose Tales. The Frog Prince.
Once upon a time, in a grand palace surrounded by green meadows and whispering trees, there lived a young princess. She was kind and curious, with eyes as blue as the summer sky, and hair that shimmered like sunlight on gold. Her favourite treasure in the world was a golden ball. Every day she would play near the fountain, tossing it high into the air and catching it with a laugh. But one bright morning, the golden ball slipped from her hands. Splash! It fell into the fountain and sank deep below the rippling water.
Oh no, my beautiful golden ball!
Cried the princess, kneeling by the edge. She looked and looked, but the ball had vanished into the shadows of the water. Her eyes filled with tears.
If only someone could help me,
she whispered sadly. Then came a soft croak. Startled, the princess turned around. Sitting on the marble rim was a small green frog, his eyes bright and curious.
"What's the matter, dear princess?"
asked the frog kindly.
You can talk?
She gasped. The frog smiled.
"Of course I can. Tell me what troubles you."
I dropped my golden ball into the fountain, and I can't get it back.
The frog tilted his head and thought for a moment. He said,
"I can fetch it for you, but what will you give me in return?"
Anything you wish. My dresses, my pearls, even my golden crown,
said the princess eagerly. But the frog shook his head.
"I do not want your jewels or your crown. I only ask that you will let me be your friend, to sit beside you, eat from your plate, and sleep on your soft pillow."
The princess wrinkled her nose.
What a strange little creature,
she thought. But she wanted her ball so badly that she quickly agreed.
Yes, anything you say, just bring me my ball.
With a nod, the frog dove into the fountain. The water swirled and shimmered, and before long he popped back up, carrying the golden ball between his little green hands.
Oh, thank you,
exclaimed the princess, snatching the ball and running away without another word. Behind her, the frog called out,
Wait, princess! You promised!"
But she didn't look back. That night, as the king and his daughter sat down to supper, there came a knock at the great wooden door. Knock, knock! The princess frowned.
Who could that be?
Then a tiny voice croaked from outside.
"Open the door, dear princess. Remember your promise by the fountain."
The princess turned pale.
Oh no,
she whispered. The king, puzzled, asked,
"What is the matter, my dear?"
She hesitated, then told him everything about the frog, the golden ball, and the promise she had made. The king smiled gently.
"A promise is a promise, my daughter. Go and let him in."
A servant opened the door. There sat the little green frog. Reluctantly, the princess let the frog hop up beside her.
"Good evening, princess."
He looked up at her warmly and said,
"May I join you for dinner?"
The frog hopped onto the table and began eating from her golden plate and drinking from her cup. The princess could hardly touch her food, feeling embarrassed and uneasy. But the king only smiled.
"See how polite your friend is,"
he said. Finally, supper ended. The frog looked up again.
"I am tired, princess. Will you take me to your room and let me rest on your pillow as you promised?"
The princess froze.
My pillow?
But her father's voice was firm.
"You must keep your word, my dear."
With trembling hands, the princess carried the little frog to her room. She placed him gently on a silk pillow beside her bed. He looked up at her and asked softly,
"Dear princess, may I ask for just one more favor?"
The princess sighed but nodded.
What is it, little frog?
He gazed up at her with hopeful eyes.
If you would give me a kiss, just a gentle kiss on my head.
The princess frowned and hesitated. The idea of kissing a frog made her blush and wrinkle her nose.
That's the only thing my heart desires. It would mean more to me than all the treasures in the world.
The frog said earnestly. The princess's heart softened. Taking a deep breath, she whispered.
Very well, my little friend.
She leaned forward and pressed a shy, delicate kiss upon his forehead. At that very moment, a swirl of golden light filled the room. The candles flickered, the curtains shimmered, and a warm wind swept through the chamber. When the light faded, the frog was gone. In his place stood a handsome young prince, dressed in royal attire, his eyes full of gratitude. The princess gasped in awe.
You're the frog!
The prince bowed gracefully and said,
Indeed, I was, and your kindness and courage have broken the spell that bound me. A witch cursed me long ago, and only a true act of friendship and compassion could free me.
The princess smiled shyly, her cheeks turning rosy,
I'm glad I could help.
her heart full of wonder. And together they returned to the king, who rejoiced to see the prince's noble form. Not long after, the palace celebrated a grand wedding. Golden banners fluttered in the garden, music filled the air, and the prince and princess stood hand in hand beneath the golden sunlight, surrounded by laughter and songs. From that day on, they lived happily ever after, in a kingdom filled with love and light.
That's the end of our tale. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless stories.